Good afternoon. Today's topic is we are going to see about an adult programming language. Okay. I hope this programming language. So we'll be having some commands over on it. For defining the locations, we'll be able to use the commands of here, where, each, point, and for editing and control, we'll be using open edit assembly, speed, execute assembly, and other monitoring component commands we'll be using about a store, delete, copy, replace, rename, load. So these are all the things. So when you're going for a motion commands, you have to use move, moves, approach, pass, speed. So we'll have a drive, a line. So these are the things, and we'll have a hand control commands. We're using command of open with the close, and we'll have a grasp with the and the configurations control commands are also there. Okay. Uh, so the next commonly used and directly learned languages are to be the VAL2. So it is a computer-based control system language. So particularly where we are using Molina, so it is used and designed for the industrial robots and applications. Okay. And when we are comparing with the VAL2 language, actually the instructions will be very clear, concise, and it, uh, it is generally a self-explanatory one. And when we are saying about a Val2 language, actually it is to be the easy learned one also. And at the same time, it can able to compute the continuous trajectory. So it will permit the complex motions which can be executed quickly with efficient use of system memory and deductions over on it. So if the systems continuously generates robots command Abina, so it can simultaneously interact with the human operators, which can able to permit on program generations and modifications. So what is the convenient feature over here, Abhinav? It has the ability to use the libraries of manipulation techniques so that what it will happen now, we'll have the complex operations which can be easily and quickly programmed by combining predefined substance. So we'll have steps which has been involved in the programming equal to the first step on the path that is the physical identification of locations points. That is, we should not teach all the points. What are the program to visit? Only the few key points alone has to be discussed over on it. So other points has to be deducted from the referenced one. So what will happen, Abhina? The procedure will be very simple. That is, first we have to use the keys or the buttons in order to drive the robot physically. At the same time, we can type the command here. So for example, this command will identify the present location. So here is to be identify the present locations. So in order to programming with val2, we are be having some several rules for the location names. Okay, there is what are the so first thing it should be of any strings of letters இருக்கணும், numbers இருக்கணும், periods இருக்கணும். அதே மாதிரி the first character must be alphabetic. Okay, and we should not have intervening blank இருக்கணும். And every locations பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா it must be a unique one. Okay, and we'll have the limit on the maximum number of characters already. So for example, I've shown over here 100 up to P115. Here 100 அப்படிங்கிறது it is the label which refers to the instruction. Okay, so this approach, which is nothing but an we know that there is the instruction of the robot to approach the location. So where it has to be located அப்படின்னா, it has to be locate the name P1. So this 15 which indicates the which has to be move the distance of 15 mm. So we describe the most commonly used value commands. So we'll have a comment of move P1, moves P1, and then we'll have a move P1 via P2, and we'll have a pro P110 and depart 15. So அந்த இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன்ஸ் மூவ்ஸ் வயா ஸோ இது எல்லாமே என்ன சொல்லுது அப்படின்னா ஸோ த மூவ் அப்படிங்கிறது விச் ஹேஸ் டு மூவ் இன் ஜாயிண்ட் இன்டர்போலேஷன் ஃப்ரம் ப்ரெசென்ட் லொக்கேஷன் டு த என்ன லொக்கேஷன் நம்ம காமிச்சிருக்கோமோ த சேம் திங். ஸோ எக்ஸ்ட்ரா ஃபர்ஸ்ட்டுக்கும் செகண்டுக்கும் பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா வில் ஹாவ் த சஃபிக்ஸ் எஸ் மட்டும் தான் ஆட் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். வாட் டஸ் இட் இண்டிகேட்ஸ் அப்படின்னா இட் ஜஸ்ட் இண்டிகேட்ஸ் அ ஸ்ட்ரைட் லைன் இன்டர்போலேஷன் மிஷின். ஓகே, ஹியர் via the thing is to be that it has to move the joint interpolation from the present location P1 it has to be passed through the P2 la போகும். Okay, then the next one to be the appropriate. So appropriate in the sense என்ன அப்படின்னு கேட்டோம் அப்படின்னா so which will instruct the robot in order to move near to the locations, but it will be offset from the locations along the tool with the insert access of that. Plus it has to be go with the distance of 10. Similarly, depart பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா so which will instruct the robot which by the specified distance 15 mm from its present positions, and we will have a appropriate and depart commands which will be modified to use straight line interpolations by adding the suffix s over it. Next thing, In order to define the path P1, P2, and P3, so we'll be having the series of locations P1, P2, P3, and P5. And the next command will have a move. Just it will be instruct the robot to move through these points in joint interpolation. So if you want to go for straight line interpolations, you have to add the suffix s. Similarly, in order to point up and down, we'll be using the command of above and below. So, in the speed of the end effector வந்து பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா, it should be 50 inch per second. IPS stands for inch per second. So, 75 அப்படிங்கிறது என்ன பண்ணும் அப்படின்னா, it will instruct the robot to operate at 75% of normal speeds. So, open and close, we know that it will instruct the end effector to open during the execution. It will open to close during the executions. So, இந்த I அப்படிங்கிறது என்ன அப்படிங்கிறது பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா, it will cause the actions in order to occur immediately. That is, we